Hi, my name is Alessandro Gangelosi and that's a new tip tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for MaxCookie. This time I like to talk about the batch rendering inside 3ds Max. The batch render is a tool that offers you an efficient visual approach to render a sequence of tasks or sequence of scene, or for example different scene states, and it can control the rendering pipe completely in an automatic way. We have the possibility to call a dialog and create a series of tasks, a list of tasks, and to prepare a batch render, we can go inside the rendering menu, and then we can go there to batch render. And you see we have the possibility there to create our series of tasks. And you see we have we need to use the add button, and then you see we have the possibility to select a task and we can duplicate it or delete it. And let's change just a little bit the scale for the dialog, and you see that there we have the possibility to see all the information and of this task, and we have the possibility to change the activation or not for this task. And you see that's the first task, and for the selected task we can change the preset, so we can say from the start frame and the end frame, for example, and then we can change the resolution. If we don't put the data there, it will pick automatically the render setup from the dialog, so we'll use the same for all the tasks we are setting there. Then you see we have the possibility to change the name for this task, and let's call first lighting setup. And then we have the possibility to change the file, and let's say test.jpg. Okay, and then we have the possibility to choose the camera. Let's use, for example, camera test, and the scene state. And the scene state is a configuration for the lighting and for some presets inside the scene, and maybe we'll see a tutorial in the future to understand how to work with the scene state. And there we have also the possibility to load the preset for the rendering engine. Then you see we have the possibility to add another, let's change again the name, first lighting test. Okay, you have to remember to use the enter key to change the name, and let's call this one second scene state. Okay, and for example there we can change and use the default preset and change there the name. Let's call it tooth.jpg. Okay, and we can use this point of view, so you see it's a different point of view, and we can, for example, use this preset, so it has all the steps we need to work. For example, we can have the needs to render the same scene with different resolution, for example a PAL preview and the HD final frames. So we can use the duplicate, and we can call it first lighting test HD res, and then we have just to change the resolution. So for example, let's use 198 20 and 180, and you see we have a new test render, and we have just to change the name. So let's call it, for example, test HD, and we have another render. Then when you set the batch render, you can use two different ways. First of all, it's useful to understand that you can use the workstation where you are working with 3ds Max. So if I click on render, it will render all the tasks inside the list. Or I can choose to use the net render, so it will connect to BackPartner, and I have to set which machine we have to use over the network. And in a future tutorial we'll see how to use BackPartner. So Another possibility is to export all the tasks to a batch file, so we can export to a .bat, and we can call it from the console or the MS-DOS. So let's say export on the HD, and let's call it in this way. So if now we go inside the HD in the right folder, we have this one, modify, and you see that's the file. So that's the rendering with all the information that will be executed using the 3ds Max command, so without the need to open 3ds Max. And we can launch 3ds Max batch render under the 3ds Max we are using to work, so we can work and render in the same moment. So it's really useful. And it's really useful also to prepare a list of rendering we need to prepare. And when you finish, you can use, for example, the batch file as we saw, or you can click over render and you can decide to use or not the next render. Another things you can do is to deactivate or not a task from the list, or you can use the delete key, the delete button to remove a task from the list. So that's the batch render, and it's a really useful way to render using an external command to launch the render and have the possibility to continue working inside 3ds Max. So if the render will be stopped or will be not completed, when the rendering will be finished, we can see the batch render completed panel, and inside this panel we'll have all the information for every single task, so we can understand if the rendering was done, was not started, or cancelled, or failed. And we'll have also information about which kind of error we encountered, so we can understand, for example, if we encountered a missing maps, or a missing UVW map modifier, or for example a missing external file or something like that. So it's really useful, and we can follow the task batch render using the batch render completed panel. So for this tip tutorial is everything, and I hope to see you back on MaxCookie to check for more tutorial coming from cgcookie.com. Bye.